Terraria has its fair share of wacky weapons. These are usually added as a joke and don't actually serve as a viable option in your playthrough. There are, however, a few exceptions, which despite being quite bizarre, have surprisingly decent performance. Today, we're going to be taking a look at one of these, the Bananarang. The Bananarang is a hard mode boomerang dropped by clowns during the Blood Moon event. As Blood Moons can occur as soon as you enter hard mode, with a bit of luck, this weapon can be obtained straight after defeating the Wall of Flesh, giving melee players a solid start to hard mode. Before we look at the best way to obtain them, I'd like to give a quick shout out to this video's sponsor, Apex Gaming PCs. As many of you know, Apex gave me the chance to design free Socrates themed PCs. If you're looking at getting a new gaming rig, I guarantee these will have the performance to pretty much run anything. If you do decide to pick one up today, make sure to use code SOCK at checkout for up to $250 off your order. Thanks to Apex for supporting me and the channel. Let's get back into it. As mentioned, you'll need a Blood Moon for the clowns to spawn. This can be summoned in two ways, either by waiting for one to occur naturally, which has a 1 in 9 chance of happening at 7:30 PM, or by using a Bloody Tear, which is a summon item which has a low chance of dropping from any Blood Moon enemy. However you start your Blood Moon, you'll want to be on the lookout for clowns, which can be quite a rare spawn, so your best bet might just be to kill as many enemies as possible to keep the spawns high. You can also take a more laid back approach by digging a large hole and filling the bottom with lava. This can be extremely effective in wiping out Blood Moon enemies, but cannot be AFK due to wraiths being able to pass through blocks. As you can see, I managed to get some Bananarangs to drop, which is actually quite lucky, because unfortunately the bananas have a devastatingly low drop rate of 3.33%, but can drop between 1 and 4 at once, so even if you get lucky and have all 4 drop, to get the maximum damage out of this weapon, you'll need the 3% drop rate to bless you a minimum of 3 times. Okay, so we know that it's pretty damn rare, so the question is, how does it perform? And I have to say, it definitely excels in some areas and kinda lacks in others. Starting off with just a single Bananarang, it's pretty useless. Kicking it up a notch with 5 Bananarangs, its performance comes a lot more impressive, dealing a DPS more in line with a weapon like the Shadow Flame knife. Finally we have 10 at once, the maximum you can stack, and I have to say, for the effort required to get 5 more, its DPS doesn't actually improve that much from having 5. Could 5 perhaps be the sweet spot? Well, not necessarily, as something boomerangs in general are really good at is long lines of enemies, and the Bananarang is no different. With the right angle, these things can seriously deal some crazy damage to lines of enemies. Let's take a look at it in practice. As you can see, its swooping motion, which attacks the mummies from the back, is extremely effective in taking them out quickly. This is all looking great, but unfortunately this attack method isn't very useful against strong single targets and performs pretty poorly against the biomimic. If you're gonna use this thing, you absolutely need to use it as a crowd control weapon, as all its perks come from hitting multiple targets. Nevertheless, let's test it on some bosses. The Destroyer is actually the only mechanical boss I'd actually use the Bananarang on. This is as it can deal piercing damage on return, but if I'm honest, this still isn't blisteringly quick. Look, if you're gonna actually go out of your way to farm for this thing, you really are gonna want to use it exclusively on events, as this is absolutely where its strengths lie. I'd say this thing is perfect for an early hard mode solar eclipse, as it can do a good job of killing the high HP enemies and has enough knockback to keep enemies like vampires far away. To conclude, the Bananarang, despite being outrageously rare and being quite literally a banana, is actually a solid option for early hard mode melee players. I'd say it's very similar to the Shadow Flame knife in functionality, but is a lot harder to obtain. I would never go out of your way to get it, but if you happen to get lucky and get 5, you should seriously give it a go. What do you think? Have you used the Bananarang before? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Thanks for watching. For more Terraria content like this, drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.